We've been going team by team, and there's one team that I have been avoiding talking about, and that is the Los Angeles Lakers, mainly because depending on what side of you are on the Lakers, like there are NBA fans that hate anytime the Lakers come up and think that it means that you're poaching for views talking about the Lakers. And then on the other side of that, there are Laker fans that think that the Lakers get and deserve everything and every superstar that's out there. Well, in today's episode, we're going to talk about the Lakers. They got new ownership coming in, Rob Pelinka making front office moves, getting his right-hand man. With Luka Dončić now the centerpiece, what does this offseason look like for the Los Angeles Lakers? And they have the overarching question on, is LeBron James going to return there? And if he is willing to, do they even want him to? We're talking about all that plus more right after this.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
What's going on, Laker fans? No. What's going on, basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of NBA Central, your number one spot for everything basketball and NBA related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys got to follow the channel at NBA Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button as well. We are trying to get to 10,000 subscribers on this channel. We can only do so with your guys' help. About 65% of you guys that have been watching the daily episodes here are not subscribed to the channel. What are you doing? Stop freeloading. Hit that subscribe button. Help us get to 10,000 subscribers. Once we get there, I'll do a giveaway, a major giveaway. But you got to help us get to 10K. We're not doing it for 5K. We're not doing it for 6K. It got to be 10K. Hit that subscribe button. Help us grow as a channel. With that said, let's get into it for today. So the Los Angeles Lakers are a very interesting team this offseason, not only because it's the Lakers. The Lakers are always going to be active. But of course, you have the questions on what's going to happen with LeBron James. Does Austin Reaves opt out, and does he get re-signed to a new deal? He has a player option for this season. He's likely to opt out, re-up with the Los Angeles Lakers unless there's a handshake deal there. And there's a lot of things just going on with this Lakers team heading into this offseason. But we're not going to start off with anything in regards to the roster. We're going to look at Rob Pelinka and him getting his right-hand man, right? Rob, and this is a question that a lot of people have in regards to Rob Pelinka, is he being protected by ownership? Now, again, you guys know as we go through these and do these episodes, I am an NBA fan. I'm a huge Chicago Bulls fan, but I don't follow every team as intimately as what I do my Chicago Bulls, meaning that some of the little intricate storylines that are popping up there that are internal and stuff like that, those are some things that I may not pop up on that. So I would love to hear from you guys in regards to anything that you feel like I missed. Please don't be afraid to call it out, right? But with the Los Angeles Lakers and the $10 billion sale of them to new owner Mark Walter, right, is already something that has been a topic of conversation. You can't overlook how that could change some things, right? And, you know, there was speculation that Walter was going to bring in the Los Angeles Dodgers executive Andrew Friedman to this team when it came help guide this franchise and stuff like that, which could put the position of Rob Pelinka in danger, right? However, it seems that as of right now, Rob Pelinka's job is secure for the immediate future at least. And during this ownership transition, Pelinka is working to strengthen the front office when it comes down to that. And Shams Charania said that the Lakers are hiring Rohan Ramadas, is believe how you pronounce it, the former vice president of strategy and operations for the New Orleans Pelicans. He's now coming over as the assistant general manager under Rob Pelinka. So Rob Pelinka gets his guy, his right-hand guy here. He's going to serve as the right-hand man to Rob Pelinka, and that's really good when if that's who Rob Pelinka wants. But it seems like there is this kind of like shorter leash on Rob Pelinka from the outside looking in, is that, you know, ownership is going to let him stay here for now. But once ownership is fully in place, they may do a review of where the team is, what they want to do, and decide there, right? So the question that we want to start off this with is Rob Pelinka being protected by the transition in ownership, or is he actually creating some stability with the Los Angeles Lakers, right? Let's talk about both sides of this. For those that are new to the channel, we talk about both sides of every topic that we get here. I think it keeps me honest as a podcaster, but also it leaves it to be a full-fledged conversation, mainly because I'm a solo host, so you want to talk about both sides and not just fall into an echo chamber, right? So let's talk about the side that Rob Pelinka does deserve more time. The Lakers are going through that transition, which you do want some stability there. You added Rohan to your front office as the assistant GM, and so what that signals is modernization and not panic, right? And I think that's the thing there, is that it doesn't seem like Pelinka is panicking at all here. He's building around Luka, and it seems like we knew even last offseason, they were looking more towards this offseason to really continue to build that roster around Luka Dončić, right? So he deserves more time to take that shape. Luka is such a unique player that you have to build around specifically that it takes some time with the contracts and the LeBron thing and all that going on before you're able to really make a decision or get that roster in a state that you needed to be around Luka Dončić. But let's talk about the other side of this, that this could be the beginning of the end for Rob Pelinka. New ownership usually means new standards, right? I think that's a universal thing in all of sports, right? And with Mark Walter and the Dodgers background that he has there, it does point towards an aggressive, data-driven restructuring of the Lakers, right? So if the Lakers don't happen to nail this summer, I do think that you could see Rob Pelinka's job start, and the talk around that, the legitimacy around it, and his job start being a little bit less strong is what it seems right now, right? So this feels less like Pelinka is untouchable and more like that he has a clean chance to really prove himself that he can operate and do what's needed to be done to get this team to be in a championship contender during the Luka Dončić era. That's what it feels like to me, right? And I think that that's a huge part that you have in this. But in all of that, you also have another part of this, and that's the LeBron James thing of it, right? And the question that the Lakers have to answer when it comes to LeBron is that should the Lakers wait on LeBron to make his decision on what he's going to do, or should they force the decision, right? Because they do have a little bit of options here. The Lakers could renounce LeBron James' bird rights, which kind of forces his hand to do things. Now, do I think they're going to do that? We'll see, right? So let's talk about both sides of this argument. Why do you wait on LeBron to make his decision? I think the biggest reason here is he's LeBron James. And you saw what LeBron was able to do in the playoffs. Luka was down. Austin Reaves was down. And it was LeBron James and playing with those role players there that got you past the Houston Rockets when, and to be honest, not a lot of people, myself included, gave the Los Angeles Lakers a shot in that series with Luka and Austin Reaves being down. And LeBron James, even at his age of 41 years old, showed, hey, I am still a player that can absolutely get some shit done here, right? When you look at what he averaged against the Houston Rockets, 23.2 points per game that he averaged against that Rockets team. He shot the ball 43% from the field, only 30% from three, but it is what it is. There's 7 rebounds, 8 assists, 1.3 steals per game as well. This was a guy that absolutely put it all out there on the basketball court. And then even against the OKC Thunder, 23 points, 50% from the field, 36% shooting from three. Like, LeBron was able to put up numbers. This is still a guy that can put up numbers. He was 26th in the NBA in scoring last year at 20.9 points per game, 51% from the field, 7.2 assists, 6.1 rebounds per game. And so LeBron is still a player that can still drastically put on. But the question is, with him 60 games, the turnovers being a thing for LeBron James this year as well, like, you have to ask your questions of weighing that. But he still is LeBron, and he still is a force to be reckoned with. But if he returns, he's changes the Lakers ceiling. There's just no way around that. But the other side is this, is that the Lakers can't afford to be frozen. There is a massive cap hold with LeBron James being there, that even if he signs for less, how big that cap hold is may put them in a situation to where they can't wait or afford to wait on LeBron James to figure out what he's going to do in regards to coming to them or not. So I think when you look at it, right, like July 1st could be a deadline for the Los Angeles Lakers. Brian Windhorst said this. He could wait until September and announce he wants to play. And there will be teams beating down his door to sign him. But if he wants to stay with the Lakers for any significant amount of money, he's probably going to have to make up his mind by late June. Number one, maybe he signs for $58 million. He signs for $28 million. He signs for $10 million. And look, this is just a reality. This is not, I don't think, meant to be insulting or anything. If the Lakers don't get a clear answer from LeBron by July 1st, they may have to renounce his rights and say, LeBron, we have to move on. We have to plan for next season. And then the money would just come off their books. I would be stunned if that happened, but there is a little bit more of an urgency. Now, this would be such an unexpected twist of events if the Los Angeles Lakers not only didn't wait for LeBron to make his decision, but then on top of that also renounced the rights of LeBron James, one of the best basketball players of all time. But you can't. And the thing that I always say this is that you can't limit your team building for anyone. Now, the Lakers have a potential to be $101 million beneath the first tax apron this offseason. That is some serious spending. The Lakers are one of only 3 teams with actual cap space this year. It's the Lakers, the Bulls, and the Brooklyn Nets. That's it. That is some serious spending power for potential restricted free agents. Like we heard, the Lakers could be interested in Peyton Watson. If LeBron is dragging his feet on making a decision on what he wants to do, it could be that the Lakers just feel like we're not going to sit there and let our cap space be held on in this. Respecting LeBron and building the future cannot be the same conversation anymore. I think that's what this boils down to. It is not the same conversations anymore. The Lakers have to honor the legacy without letting it hold the offseason hostage. And that's what they have to do in regards to it. And that could also add into some of their trade target pursuits, which leads us to the next conversation. And that is, should the Lakers try to make a trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo? Now, I have my doubts on what a team that looks like with Luka and Giannis on it. I have my personal doubts in regards to that one, right? And we know that the Lakers are going to be a team that almost anytime a star pops up, their names are probably going to be thrown in the ring of that, right? Shams talked a little bit about this, and he said this. It wouldn't be a surprise if the Lakers try to get into the sweepstakes, but reality of the matter is they may not have an offer enticing enough for the Bucks. The Lakers expressed interest in Giannis at the deadline. Right now, what they'll be able to offer is 3 first-round picks in cap space and essentially absorb Giannis's contract. Now, if you're the Bucks, are you just going to trade Giannis to the Lakers for cap space and 3 first-round picks? Like, my sense is that they're going to get bigger in the market than that. I think there are a bigger appetite than that. And so time will tell. We'll know in the next 6 weeks. So seeming like it's going to be a very short window there on what's going to happen with Giannis. So let's talk about both sides of this. Chasing Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's simple. He's a 2-time MVP. He's one of the most dominant forces in basketball. And even at being over 30 years old, he's still a guy that can absolutely put up and put on a show, period, right? If he becomes available, the Lakers have to make the call. That's it. You have to make the call. Doesn't mean you're going to have the best offer, but you don't know unless you make the call. So you try to make the call, period. You try to make the call. You always try to get the talent in there. The side of this is that the Lakers just don't have enough, right? What Shams reporting, it's just that even the Lakers' best packages, they put everything on the table that they could possibly offer. It may not be enough unless they want to include Austin Reaves in that. Now, that is a story for another day. I don't think that's going to happen at all, and I don't think the Lakers should do that. So therefore, let's sit here with this thing of the Lakers can want Giannis all they want. They can really want Giannis all they want. But wanting a superstar and having the best offer to land that superstar are very drastically different things when it comes down to that. But there is a realistic move that has been rumored and talked about. Again, we don't know what the Lakers are doing. They have tons of cap space. They can aim a lot of different places, right? But this one, we'll see what happens in regards to this one. But in regards to this, Bobby Marks kicked around the fact that the Lakers could try to obtain Robert Williams. He could be a target for the Los Angeles Lakers in free agency, saying this. You have to be cautious with that because of his game availability, the minutes. That's one guy. I don't want to say neutralize Victor Wembanyama because he didn't. Wembanyama, but I think guarded him probably one of the best. Certainly in the playoffs in the first round, that would be the guy that's probably one of the top unrestricted free agent centers out there. I think it gives you that shot blocker, that rim protector, that guy that can be a lob threat for Luka. Now the question is the cost. What does it cost? Is it 12, 13 million? I think that's the kind of his range. But there will be other teams that also see that. So Robert Williams is an interesting case point, right? Because when he's healthy, he's good. There's just no doubt about it, right? So what is the sides of this conversation for this, right? Should the Lakers try to go after Robert Williams to be their center? The side of it that says yes is that he's a really good fit, right? Schematically and scheme-wise, stylistically, he makes sense for them. He's a lob threat. He's a rim protector. He has athleticism. And he's somebody that can absolutely affect the game of basketball on the defensive side of the ball. But the other side of that is that the injury is a huge risk there. The talent that Robert Williams has is there, but availability has always been a question for Robert Williams, and the Lakers just can't afford to spend major money on an unreliable option, not when Mark Williams had a, dare I say, decent season, right? So, you have to ask those type of questions in regards to all of that, right? But I think when it comes down to all of that, you have to try to figure it out. And I don't know where that goes for this team. And I said Mark Williams. I'm sorry. Mark Williams is long and gone. That's the player they tried to acquire. I'm talking about DeAndre Ayton, who had a decent enough season for them at 12 and a half points, 8 rebounds. But I don't think DeAndre Ayton performed in a way where you can say, hey, we're good with DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton got us locked down there. No, you can add Robert Williams there, and he's a player that can definitely still help you in what you're trying to get. DeAndre Ayton is under contract. He has a player option for $8 million. He's likely to pick that up. And so, therefore, you look at that, right? So, I wouldn't be mad at them adding Robert Williams. It depends on what they have to offer him. And Lakers fans, please sound off on this one down below on what you think. I'll say this. It could be a very smart move but it doesn't have to be a flashy move, right? Robert Williams is the type of move that makes basketball sense, but the Lakers have to ask if they're buying more on hope or are they buying on actual impact, and that's the question that they have here, which then gets us to the last part, the overall offseason outlook for the Los Angeles Lakers. And there's one key question in all of this, right? Are they going to star chase? And if they do star chase and conk out on that, is it then time to focus on building depth, right? And that's the question that we've had that you have here. Let's talk about it, right? The Lakers are a star franchise, right? Let's just simply put, Los Angeles Lakers win with stars. That's just been the history of them. Luka is the centerpiece, but they should try to maximize on their time with Luka to add another star to that. Most Laker fans are going to tell you that. Most of the media is going to tell you that. It is what it is, right? But I think the other side of this that you have to talk about is the fact that depth is what wins a lot now. Like, yeah, not to say that it's just depth alone. You have to have talent, but depth a lot of times gets you some places where raw talent doesn't get you. And so I think that's the thing that you have to look at there. Like, you look at the OKC Thunder, you look at the Spurs, both teams in the West, like they have talent and depth. So you want a mix of both for sure, but you can't ignore the depth that they have there, right? You look at the Indiana Pacers last year before Tyrese Halliburton got down. They had talent, but also their depth really pushed them far. So you want to balance that out there, right? I think depth wins now. The West is really athletic. It's deep. It's versatile. And I think that you need depth. You can't just be a top-heavy team in the Western Conference. So I do think the smartest Lakers offseason is one that you build depth. Now, if you can add a star and depth, of course you try to do both those things. But the Lakers have tons of questions here, right? When you look at them, they have free agent questions in LeBron, Rui Hachimura, and what happens with Austin Reaves. I think that that's the thing that you have there for this Lakers team is that once you find the answers on those guys, it answers some things for you, right? The Lakers, of course, have the upper hand when it comes to Hachimura. He's already talked about wanting to stay there. And I also think that right now, like you look at him, the mid-level exception is probably most what he's going to be able to give. The Lakers can give him that, right? Austin Reaves holds the player option. That's worth $15 million. It is expected that he declines that to get a long-term deal. With the Lakers having full bird rights on him, they can keep him. It's not a big deal there. So really, LeBron becomes the biggest offseason question for them. Outside of that, what do they do with the 25th overall pick, right? That is a huge question here too. Do they use the 25th overall pick to add in as a sweetener to get another star to get depth here? Or do they take that in a draft that is historically deep? And you could find a starting caliber player there for you at number 25, depending on where things fall at, but you may not want to chance that and move that pick. So that is one of the questions here for the Lakers in this offseason is, what do you do with that first round pick, right? Can you fix your starting center and your wing positions? I think that's there. And then, of course, do you chase the star or do you prioritize depth? That's really what it becomes about. And how quickly the new ownership wants this team to turn around. But those are questions that we'll find out in the offseason. I want to hear from you guys, both Laker fans and people who aren't Lakers fans. What do you think is going to happen with LeBron? How do you think that plays off? And do you think that this team should focus more on star chasing or adding quality depth and the right players around Luka if they can't find that star? Let me know what you guys think and feel on all that down below. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode or an upload. You can follow us at NBA Central Pod. You send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, NBA Central Show at gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and a voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything basketball related. And I'll catch you guys the next time I feel like making an episode. Probably tomorrow. Peace out.
Been a presentation of the Break Media.